Sometimes. We will get people. How are you?
More.
Huh?
Yeah, just more club.
I was going to, but is it at 10 or 11? June. Oh, please.
You celebrate.
I shall believe it, like you are. Should also be allowed.
Members.
Let's say I don't.
I don't care.
I think if someone inspires to be in the morning. I also don't think it's something.
Influence can be asked.
That's more than 70%. That's something I was like, it's crazy, but also like, okay, so I'm in the top 30%, but not because of anything.
So it's also.
That's still once a quarter.
So I think that like it's like 60% sold zero. The other 40%. So 8 or 4. So. Cool.
So 4% today.
So let's see. I've heard different stats. I've heard 50%, 60%, 50% of people. And 50% of people. So 8.
How many is that?
So that's doing that. Twice.
For them, 8 is still not crazy.
But if you get to the new thoughts. For you see. But.
And there's people crazy that are like not like,
You see that.
yeah. You want to might as well say. They should at least, at least less than what you say. Good.
Where's that April?
March will be good at April, but. What? Oh, like, yesterday I was like, that's it, I'm not even bringing your chair. Not interested. Okay, I'll let you get what you need. See, I'm not welcome here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Please, excuse me.
What's up, guys? So good. Where is everyone? How come it's just us three? Good. John told me he's sick, so he's not coming. Do you know how many people are invited to this class every week? 80. 80 people. Where are everyone? That's okay. So, well, what I have planned today, listen to this. So, Shoni, who is like CEO of this office, Johnny, who is the owner of this office and also runs the region of Utah for Keller Williams, they are in this Tony Robbins mastermind group.
Okay.
They pay $10,000 a month each to be part of this. Like ridiculous amounts of money. They got a discount on a coach to come train people. So it was Johnny's team, that's the Red Sign team, and then all of the staff was there. And they are paying this coach $40,000 to come in and train us for 3 days.
Train us.
Like, yeah, so all of us, yeah, there was like 40 of us in the room. That's the discount. Yes. So, So I am taking what she taught us in the afternoon. So if you think 8 hours, she's 4 hours, that's like a sixth of the cost. What's 6 divided by 40? Math. What are we looking like? $6,000 of what she taught. That's what I'm gonna teach you guys today.
Sweet.
So the same thing. And it's my least favorite part of the day, so that we learned. So that's why I'm surprised when like people are like, oh, I'm not here, I can't come. I'm like, what are you doing? So, all right, tell me something good that happened this week.
I'm getting like a new idea about how to go about leads,
Uh-huh.
thinking of like. Pushing towards like getting together like a really good sellers presentation and
Yes.
the expired listings.
Ooh, I love it.
So just like, I know a lot of people do that already, but
Mhm.
like using Keller Williams as my backup since I'm a new agent, like. So many agents that have partners ready.
Yes. Yes. We have almost 300 agents here,
Right,
and you could send a message through WhatsApp and reach maybe half of them.
yeah, a lot of people do that already. I've
Yep.
noticed,
Yep, we have team meeting that we present all of our listings, so there's probably 50 to 80 people that are there in person that you get to present. Like, there's some cool things that you get to say that we do
Yeah.
that no one else does. Dang it, I left my water upstairs. Oh, well. I love it. Talk to some sellers. If you want, every day upstairs, there's two guys that put their like laptops on that like butcher block table and they make calls almost every morning. They're probably 3 or 4 times a week.
that's,
Yeah, it's Jay, and I don't know the other guy's name to be honest, but sure,
that's the guy.
probably. I'd believe that. He seems like a Dave. Yeah, yeah, he looks like a Dave. So yeah, if you wanted to be like, oh, what do I say? Like you could literally just walk up and be like, is it cool if like, yeah. And they will practice scripts right there. Like I hear them in the morning practicing, then I hear them making calls, then I hear them analyzing each other's calls. And so like if you wanted to join in that, I'm pretty sure they'd be stoked. And they listen to oldies. Yeah.
Well, what's oldies to that?
I know.
They are older than everyone in this room. Yeah, like 80s type music. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I love that. Kay, what else? What other good things happened this week?
I mean, it was kind of this week, a friend that wants to get a house, she's taking forever to respond.
Yes.
Haven't gotten any contracts signed yet or anything, but she's excited.
Good. I have the saying that real estate is not dating. So when someone doesn't respond to you, it doesn't mean anything. So if she's like taking a while, like messages like, hey, I'm not trying to be pushy, I'm just making sure I don't drop the ball. Where are things at with this? Like texts like that, people love that. Oh, hey, I'm just checking in on the buying process. Some of my conversations are very one-sided, and then all of a sudden people buy houses. It's the weirdest thing ever. All right, anything else? Going once? Going twice?
That's my scary neighbor.
Oh, yes.
He's other house and his daughter's moving and she's looking for a two-bedroom. I think to keep the price down. It's really busy. So I didn't get like a price range, but I'm excited for moving. And then I also got a new friend. She runs renting. And since we've been visiting the new builds in our area. Which she wants to do, and so. But the problem is like, who is on the- to be an actual buyer.
Mm.
Actually, my neighbor is the one buying. For his daughter.
Keep reaching out.
They.
Yes. Okay, and then one day we'll be celebrating like this. Hey, no under contracts, none in this room. We have a bunch of new listings coming up, by the way, on our little team and closings. I think we're 5 or 6 this month. So things are moving, people are moving, listings are coming, so get out there. You guys are all been here before. Okay, Ignite, here's what we have coming up. Tomorrow, Sue Ann Hoffman is teaching Grow Your Database. If you do not know Sue Ann, you will want to go to this class. She has been in the business like, I don't know, 20, 30 years, and she crushes it. I think she is the most consistent closer in the brokerage, and like her GCI is like 300 and above every single year. So definitely you'll want to hear from her because she is just good. She just works her database like crazy. Amy Erdman is teaching open houses on Monday. It seems like just the other day she was a new agent. She's like 4 years into this and she's teaching now. So she's been in your shoes just recently. Jen Jorgensen teaching on social media. You won't want to miss that. That's like the biggest piece of her business that she is consistent at, and she closes deals like crazy. And then Courtney Nelson, who is always amazing, capture more leads. So we have a good Ignite this week. Coming up here, let's see where the Monday. What can Scott Leroy Marketing do for you? Dean, that's the perfect picture for this. Yes.
Just back from Hawaii.
Happy Hawaiian Dean. He's gonna be talking about your big why. Everyone has big goals in real estate. Well, most people have big goals in real estate. And when push comes to shove and there's hard things that need to happen, if you have a strong connection with like your reason, your big why, then it becomes easier to do those hard things and actually push through to get those, to hit your goals. If I want to make $100,000 to make $100,000, when I have to do a hard thing, I'm not going to do it. The same reason I don't do sit-ups every morning, because I don't care if I have a 6-pack. My wife is happy and I'm happy, right? Who cares? If I were single, I'd probably be hitting the gym way more often, but I don't care. It's that same thing. If you don't care, if you don't have a big enough reason, then you're not going to go do the thing. So this is helping to define that and discover it. So it should be good. AI Summit. Let's see, you two are going, right? I think both of you said. Cody, are you going? Okay. This will be awesome. So this is not Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. We are not going to do power up. We're not going to do the check-in, and we're not having team meetings. So basically Tuesday morning is canceled for this. Yes. So be there. I would be there before 9 because there's like 300 seats and I think we're filling up. So
Can someone go and single?
just lay out.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Good news, it's mostly KW agents from the Valley, Utah and Salt Lake counties, and I think Keller Williams Westfield has the biggest sign up so far. So this should be amazing. Our trainings coming up at 1 o'clock today. We are going to do pricing and CMA, probably in the Gary Keller room. So if you show up and you own a house, we can price your home out and teach you how to do that. Next week, we are going to do your value proposition. So we're going to work on like an elevator pitch that you can easily transition to say when you're talking to people. You're like, oh, I'm in real estate. And they're like, oh, I wish I had a good real estate agent. You could say, I am, blah, 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 blah. Those kind of things. Then we'll the foundation training is send and show houses. Then it's the last Thursday of the quarter. So we're going to do GPS and planning. So GPS stands for goals, priorities, strategies. It is a 1-page business plan to execute. When I coach agents, basically I make them make this, like existing agents, anyone. Like if you went and said, who's like Heather Groom, for example, made $1 million last year in real estate. The year before that, I was coaching her and we would do this document. Like it is the same document for everyone, and we are going to do it on Thursday. So the 27th. and then talk about appointments and all the documents you need with Brittany. Okay, I got a script challenge for you. Imagine this, that you get a lead, somebody, maybe a referral, maybe a friend you already know, but you end up talking to them. Maybe it's an open house, I don't care. And we'll group discuss this. And they say to you, I'm just looking right now. I'm not ready to commit to an agent yet. What do you say? Go. Who's got an answer?
Probably just start with saying like. That's great, you haven't gotten an agent yet. I would love to just. Even just discuss with you some options, so you can have some information to kind of pick the best agent for yourself. What would like price your home for you or something?
Yeah,
It could meet for
So-
lunch, like I'll buy lunch, one just chat, you know, no pressure, you have to sign anything. just
Yeah.
Have a little.
yeah,
meeting.
let's go talk. Yes, I love that. Love that. What else?
This exact.
Yes, I love when I choose a real one.
So my friend's husband business and he's looking for land. She's like, I don't know, it's just. She's like, I wanted to tell you, I'm like, it doesn't. Because like. for Nothing, you know, so, he came in, just really not looking to. Actually, buy it, just. You know, just. Like, well, I'm always looking for you because I have nothing better to do than to pay attention to you whenever it comes to mind. And so whether you're ready to get on, I'm just gonna send you things and like see them. And if something pops up that you're interested in, then, and it's the right time, then we can look at it. But if. Don't worry about it.
Love that. That's as non-committal as you could get.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just because I'm in contact with them anyways too, it was really easy to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's exactly.
I think you should have that mentality constantly. I'll just send you houses as I see them. If you don't respond to me, that's okay.
Just say, "Keith,
Cody, you got a different thought? Different angle?
No, I'm pretty much the same way. I'd be pretty nonchalant about it like him, whereas like, of course, you're just looking right now, so. All in the process, just let me know, that answer any questions you may have, or if you think this one should be cheaper price or.
Yeah. Real estate's not dating. This was my answer. I was like thinking through like, oh, shoot, I wouldn't marry you after the first date kind of a thing. Like, of course, like you're just looking right now. Like, I'm just here to help you. We're not proposing on day one. And then I was trying to think through, if you guys have heard of NICMO, right? Non-committal makeout. I was like, how could that be a real estate term? Like non-committal see houses, kind of an acronym, but yeah,
it's probably like,
yeah, 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 non-committal makeout. Friends with benefits. I could just be your real estate agent with benefits. So yeah, that I almost like make a joke around this, like, oh yeah, like we're not gonna get married, don't worry. But yeah, like don't commit to me, like let's just talk. Let me just help you out. If you're just looking, great, let's just browse. If you see something that you want to see, great, I'm here for you. If you decide, you know what, I don't like you as an agent and I'd rather use someone else, great, just let me know. So I'm not sending you houses and things like. I don't care. I'm open to whatever. The worst thing that you can do with this is have commission breath. Like if you're like, oh no, I'm the one for you. I'll help you out here. I'll send you houses. Sign this agreement. You can fire me whenever. Like all of those things seem like I need this sale. And then they're gonna push away more. It's like negging. You say negative things at them and then all of a sudden they love you. Cody, you're married, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, don't do that if doesn't actually work. Yeah, nonchalant, like, I'm just here to help you. No worries. Like, no, I'm not having you sign anything. We can chat, we can talk, you can ask me questions. The only time I can't help you is if you commit to another agent. So leave the door open.
I kind of like the approach to when you sign up an agency agreement. That it only has to be one name, because it kind of takes the picture off of them.
Yeah,
Like with my neighbor who's like, my daughter's not signed up by your agency agreement, so she could definitely go shop with you sometime. Okay, whatever, like, I wasn't even thinking that way, which was probably bad. Right? Maybe because I was really surprised he was talking to me about this at all. It's not my
because you described him as your mean neighbor.
If you were talking about this, I'm like, "Oh, that's-
I don't really wanna win people over. It's like, no one really likes them. Right, so like if you show interest in like something that for you.
Yeah. So a couple of ways, like Kira mentioned, to get commitment without real commitment is like, let's do, like, if you want to see this house, I can sign the buyer broker. You can either do for one specific house, which is my least favorite way to do it. You can do it for one day or a couple of days and say, this just allows me to show you the house. But it's like we're getting married with a planned divorce. And so, yeah, Vegas wedding we're gonna do right here. Like we'll annul it in a couple of days. And then if we decide it's true love, we'll get married. What was that Ashton Kutcher number or movie? That one. She like just, no, what was it? Yeah. What happens in Vegas? Yeah, just like that. We'll get married, we'll see how it goes, then we'll fall in love for real. The one that I do is I say, well, I'm gonna lock you hardcore into this buyer agreement. And I said, just kidding. I have a buyer agreement here, but you can cancel it anytime. All you have to do is tell me that you want to cancel it. No questions asked. I don't even care. Like if you go with someone else, if you try to cut me out, like whatever, like just let me know and I can cancel that. And so that way, and I just tell them like, I could get this signed for one day, but then if 2 days later you see another house that you want to see, then I'd have to get another one signed
Yeah.
or get an addendum. And so then we're signing something every single time. So you can sign this and then just even text me and say, you're fired. And that's good enough for me. Yeah.
So, my neighbor is obviously going to the contract.
Uh-huh.
but Other people are scared by contracts, and like, there's a lawsuit that created this whole thing. Right?
Just sort of.
Well.
So yes, that's true. But also Utah's been doing it for like, I don't know, a decade.
Well, I just don't know how to bring it up. Well, I bring it up with an explanation, like, I'd love to tell people before things happen, like, this is what's going to happen. To go shop,
Yep.
and it can be 1 day, or it can be a week, or it can be 6 months, and this is what it means. But do I need to give them a background? This is why.
Nope. Because most people, like you said, aren't versed in it. If they are, so the rule, there was a lawsuit that came it's basically about transparency. Because as a listing agent, you used to get 6% and then you would pay some amount to the buyer's agent. But nobody knew until the day of closing. And so it wasn't fair to the sellers, the buyer's agents, like it was weird because we would get a buyer broker agreement signed, but then it was just like, whatever the listing agent's willing to pay me, I'm gonna collect. And so it was not a lot of transparency. And so the lawsuit, I can't believe it went all the way through. It seemed ridiculous. But basically what changed is now you have to have a buyer broker agreement before you show homes. That used to not be the case. You used to have to have it when you made an offer. Now you have to have it when you show homes. So that was the biggest change. And then the commission, it's always been negotiable, but it was a little harder to negotiate. Like now you have to get it signed by the buyer because the buyer is technically paying you unless you can have the seller pay you, which is in the offer, which it used to not be. So that's the big change. It's like we negotiate commission on the offer and you have to have,
The just in case.
yep, yep.
And so
Last case scenario, buyer, you have to pay me.
the seller pays in case they don't.
Yep. I would say probably 95% of the time a seller will pay your commission. Now, it might not be the whole thing, so maybe you have to like talk to the listing agent, try to get some of their commission. Maybe you can see if the lender can raise some closing costs and pay some of that, or maybe it's just your buyer that comes up with some of it, or you just take less commission. And so that's all negotiable when you're starting the offer. You can figure that all out. So that's what I always let people know, like, when we make the offer, we'll know. You'll know, like, will I have to pay money or anything like that? Okay. We are going to talk about personalities today. And first, we're going to learn your personality, then we're going to do some quizzes and education to learn other people's personalities. The whole idea here is, have you ever like talked to someone and you're like, I am not connecting with them at all? And you're like, is it me? Is it them? And you just blame them because they're mean or weird or whatever. And then but then all of a sudden you realize like, oh, I'm randomly connecting with this person better now. And what has changed? I think that sometimes when we like internally, we kind of intuitively know people's personalities and we can tweak and change to that. This is just getting upfront, like an idea of how to use that in everything that you're doing. So don't scan this. I actually have a different way to do it. If you want to scan this, this is probably a better test than mine, but if you want the full. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's a pen. So each row here, I would like you to go through and rank them on most to least. So if it's the most like you, put a 4. The next is 3, then 2. If it's the least like you, put a 1. And so each row should have 1 through 4 on it. 1 through 4. Yes. 1 is the worst. If that's the least like you, put 1. If it's the most like you, put 4. So like if you take charge and get results, and that is you to the core, boom, 4. And then if you're like not at all accuracy in doing things correctly, that would be the 1. And maybe don't overthink. The longer you think, the harder it becomes. Just like intuitively what's you, what's not you. You probably will. This is one of my least favorite ways to do this test because after you read and learn about these, you could make up whatever you wanted and gain this way of doing it. But if you don't know, I had this problem when I was in school that I had to be done first with tests.
Yep.
My children do the same thing and I just laugh at it. It's a solid A- student, but I had more free time than others. Yes, so then when you're done, we're going to add the column. Okay, pencils down. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah. Okay, Kara, which column was the highest for you? B. I could have guessed that. Wait, let me guess your other one. Column C.
Yes.
Ah, Cody, are you column C and column D? I don't know you well enough. Ooh, A, I could see A. Okay. Shay, I'm thinking you might be A and B. Ooh, but are you C? C. Okay, so above these columns or below, or however you want to write it, probably below because there's more space. And under column A, I want you to write a D. A D under column A. Under column B, I want you to write an I. Column C is an S. And then column D is a C. So this is the disk. So if you were to describe someone, how you would describe them, it's usually your top two. Every once in a while you get a third. I do have a third in mind when I do these tests. And you would say like, so Kira, you are.
But these are the worst. Kid one is the best.
Oh. Yeah.
So then the lowest number is.
Well, not, yeah, I could just change the number.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it works. You did it the golf what method. Yeah, lower score wins. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kind of my. So maybe I have like multiple personalities.
Maybe you do.
But I'm more like.
Okay, S and an I.
It's like 1 to 4.
That would have been better way to do it. Yes. Yes, well, this is why this is not my favorite way. So scan this code, you can do this later and it will kind of validate it. It has a different way to do it. So it's gonna give you 4 words and you're gonna tell them what's the most and the least like you. And so it will be similar to this, but different. Okay, so let's talk about each of these for a little bit. So the high level overview, D, they say dominant, but I call it a driver. This is the go and do things kind of person. I is for influence. This is the social person. S is steady. This is the person that doesn't like change, things going the same every single time. And C, I say correctness, which is like you like facts, figures, and being right. So that's why I don't like this test, because you'll notice that all of the D's are all in a column. So if you wanted to be like, I'm a driver, I do things like this, then you could just cheat this test, or once you know some of these words. So we're gonna go one by one, and then we're gonna talk about what all of these mean and how you are like this, and then how to do this. So this is overwhelming, but don't pay attention yet. So we have on like the axes, we have an introvert, and an introvert being opposite, right? And then you're either people oriented or you're task oriented. So the D personality is extroverted and likes tasks. The I personality is extroverted and likes people. The S likes people and is introverted, and the C is introverted and likes tasks. So if you think of a couple of these people, so let's talk about D. So let's talk about those D type personalities that you know.
Celebrity.
Yeah, ooh, celebrity would be good.
Tom Brady.
Ooh, maybe. I was thinking,
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump would probably be a great one. Like, how much has he cared about people at all? Like, you're fired? Like, he was literally had a show, then that's what he said. Like, he was like decisive, daring, direct, persistent, problem solver, results oriented. Like he is just gonna go and do, and it doesn't matter what happens. He has his vision and he's gonna go execute on it.
Elon does a-
Yep, Elon does this. I was thinking Gordon Ramsay too,
Oh,
right? Like he's just like,
I think she was a softer side at the moment.
probably, yeah, at least in front of the public, these people are like that. So D is driver, but to be frank, I call him a dick. They often come off as jerks and stuff, right? Because they like tasks, they don't care about people, so a lot of time they bulldoze or push people over. That's not necessarily the only thing, but D personalities typically do those kind of things. Okay, I's, these are the charming, confident, convincing, enthusiastic, inspiring, optimistic, persuasive, sociable, trusting people. Who's an I that we know? Or a celebrity?
Thinking like a camera.
Yeah,
Reese Witherspoon.
yeah, ooh, Jack Black. Yeah, those, like, they're the life of the party. They're fun. These are the people that care, like introverted and people, like, they're the people that you want to come to your things because you have a good time with them. Right? So then you have people and introverted. These are the S personality: understanding, friendly, good listener, patient, relaxed, sincere, stable, steady, team player. Who does this sound like?
Maybe Taylor Swift, she does everything.
Ooh, yeah, she is a good listener. Yep. Yep. A lot more introverted. I mean, she likes the stage and the fame and everything like that. But that, I could see that. Steady. Yeah, she's releasing an album like,
For sure.
yeah, yeah. Team player, I don't know. She might have a little more key than that. Yeah, her boyfriend's on a team, that counts. That counts. Yes. My highest is an S. So you'll notice this is a lot about me. Like I am relaxed, I am patient, I am steady, team player. Yes, that is my highest. Okay, the C personalities. This is accurate, precise, analytical, compliant, courteous, diplomatic, detailed, fact finder, objective. They like tasks and they're introverted. Oh, maybe like a news reporter.
It's just the first name.
Yes. Yes. I often, do you guys know Nova Lee? Yeah. So she's a C type personality. She likes, even Dean has a lot of C type personality. He, like, you do something wrong on your contract, he's gonna find it, he'll see it. Like, yes, quick to notice it. They have no problem correcting you when you're wrong. Because again, they don't care about people, they care more about tasks. These people like to be in their office doing things more than they like to be out and about. Now, yep, yep. Brittany is a C, our transaction coordinator. She is a C personality. That's why she likes that. She doesn't want to go out and sell. She likes to be in her office, doing her checklists, getting all of that done, making sure so nothing's wrong. So often it's hard to tell these different personalities. Often a lot of C personalities, you'll think, oh, they're a D, because they were kind of a jerk to me. They were quick to tell me something. They sounded very direct, but it was because they were probably correcting you or telling you why they were correct. The introverted, sometimes S and C are kind of hard. Extroverted D and I, they kind of blend. So now you are not one personality, you are probably two and sometimes three, like I said. So for example, Shoni, he is like a DC personality. He is very friendly, he likes people, but he has like a system and a process to deal with them. So he comes off a little more friendly.
It is funny when he smiles at me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joy. Like he's
Yeah, you don't see Shoni wandering the office talking to people. Yeah, who went to Ignite yesterday? So Colby that taught yesterday, he is an IS. He is like, if you are upstairs and he is upstairs, you'll watch him go from person to person, chatting and talking, and he'll go all around everywhere. So, IS is probably the most common real estate personality, or what people think they would be a good personality, because they are all about the people. They're a little extroverted, might have that little introvert, so they can do some of the stuff. Becca Summers, she is actually, she has some D in her because she's just go and do, but she's actually an SC. Yes,
I see her more like,
yeah,
all business minded.
yes, yep,
but
that's
she does
like
make-
introverts and she does more tasks, yes. Yeah, so, which is the best personality to be a real estate agent, do you know? I mentioned a lot of them are IS. What'd you say? All of them, there's not a wrong answer. So you can be you, but this is to learn what other people are doing. So, let's go one by one and talk about how we would work with these people. So the D personality. This is what AI thinks a D personality, a real estate, I said, make a real estate agent that's bold, direct, action oriented, results driven, and confident. And this is what they gave me. So, yes. So the D personality, their strengths are decisive, goal oriented, thrives in competition, fearless. So if you are a D, you need to adapt to a few people that you work with. You probably will need to tone down your aggressiveness, especially for the C type personalities or the S types. Often bosses become D type personalities because they're just go and get things done. They're task oriented, result oriented. So they tend to get promotions because of that. And then they tend to get people that are like the S and C type personalities, and they bulldoze them often. So if you're a D, watch out for that. If you're an S and C, don't let them do that. Give them clear options, but don't push too hard. It's typically how they need to adapt to the clients. So if you are a D, you probably will be very good at cold calling, for sale by owners, expireds, door knocking. Like it's just a go and do one after the other. The more you put in, the more results you get. Direct and assertive communication works best, focusing on high impact marketing and strategies with measurable ROI. The biggest fear of a D type personality is losing control or appearing weak. Some of the common traits with Ds, speed. I have talked longer about a D personality than a D personality would be able to listen to me. They're like, give me the bullet points. 5 things on this slide is too many. Distill it down to one thing. Just boom, boom, boom. If you are telling them a story and have to mention people and it's dragging on and the details are too deep, you've lost your Ds. So when your clients are D personalities, you do not need to beat around the bush with bad news. You can say, hey, the appraisal came in low. Boom, that direct. You can just say it. Their biggest fear, like we said, is losing control or appearing weak. So you need to give them the appearance that they are in control and they will be happy with you. Like, I'm here to support you. Like, you're in control, but you should be in control of the scenario. Questions about Ds, thoughts? Okay.
What is here? What if they're, okay, so I have a question. What if you get a client that's too much, too.
Yes.
Too direct.
You fire them.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Allowed to fire.
Don't work with jerks. That's, yeah. D personalities do not have to be jerks. There are a lot of D personalities that I like a lot and we get along really well. And there's a lot of jerks that are not D personalities. So I don't work with jerks. There's too many people out there to be miserable.
Like, there's a stipulation about that, like,
It's
it's unreasonable.
hopefully you find out before you're under contract.
Oh.
If you're under contract and they are a jerk, then you kind of have to deal with it. That's literally what happened to Amy on her first closing. She got her client under contract and then he was a jerk about everything and it was like so stressful.
Because
Maybe.
complex and then they're like, what? After the-
Oh, I don't know. It was awful. Okay. You ready for the next picture? Wait, should we do a quiz? What would an I personality be doing? Remember, this is like the friendly social extrovert.
They have flowers.
It was a picture of a guy. I did not ask that, but it was a picture of a guy. And this is a, yeah. Somehow he has an extra hand too. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So, nice and bright. So I personalities, like we talked about, they're social, enthusiastic, energetic, people driven, like this guy. Charismatic, great at networking, persuasive, and inspiring. If you are an I personality, you will probably enjoy networking events, social media marketing, client appreciation. You want people. Typically, you gain your energy from people. So you might want to do things like that. You can also think about like content marketing, video tours, reels, engaging people on social media or doing the engaging part of social media. And then referral base. You're just going to work with people and get referrals from that. So now if you are an I and you are working with others that are not Is, you need to stay focused and detail oriented when working with the analytical people, like the C type of personalities. Slow down and listen more when working with reserved clients, so the S and the C. The D, if I were to add more to how to adapt to Ds, I would say be quick. I personalities usually have a lot more stories and it's more fun. If they are just like a D or a DC, they don't care about that. Your biggest fear is rejection or being ignored. Wait, who is an I in here? Ooh, you're kind of everything. You're a little of all of it. So let's talk about rejection real quick. Because does rejection happen in real estate?
Yeah.
Nope,
Look out.
just not now, not yet. Yes, I have had multiple friends in my life buy houses with other real estate agents and then buy houses with me. So it was just a not yet. So for whatever reason, they didn't trust me when they bought. They didn't know I was an agent. They did something happened that they did not choose me. They did not reject me. They just didn't choose me. So know that if you call someone and they're like, no. My very first email that I ever sent out, like announcing to everyone that I was in real estate. So I had been selling door to door with a bunch of guys. And then I got into real estate probably 4 or 5 months after like I saw all of them. I sent an email to everyone that I had their email and I said, hey, I'm in real estate. Just wanted to let you know if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. I did not use like a mass email thing. I BCC'd everyone and sent it to them. So one of the guys that I was selling door to door with replied back and said, take me off your email list. The last conversation I had with him was, I'm probably not going to sell door to door anymore. And he said, if whatever you're doing makes you happy, then I'm going to be happy and supportive. I'm like, thanks, man. That's so nice. His very first thing was, I don't care about you. Take me off your list. So as an I, because I do have a lot of I in me, I could have felt rejected that he didn't want it. Instead, I said, screw you, guy. And I kept him on my email list. Make him unsubscribe for real. Like if he, I wasn't spamming him. It was like literally like I got my, and I texted him and said he was being dumb. Anyway,
Just let it know.
yeah, being ignored. Again, you're probably not being ignored. It's probably just like people are busy, whatever, like that. Questions, thoughts about eyes? Okay. All right. S personality. Remember, this is like a steady person. What do you think they're doing? I don't know. This one, it doesn't seem like it fit. This like girl with its fingers like that. And she's got AI hands are so funny. I saw this thing that you can buy. It's a fake finger to put on, so it's like another finger sticking out like this. And the whole idea is so that every picture that you're in, people think it's AI generated. Like that's a clever little prank there. So as personalities, they're supportive, relationship driven, patient, dependable. They're loyal, trustworthy, great at nurturing long-term relationships. If you are an S personality, you will probably work well with referrals, your sphere of influence, past clients, community, things like this. You will work well in a structured environment, like farming a neighborhood. You could set a plan and just follow that same plan every single time. I wish John was here for this because he literally wrote out a plan and he is executing on it like that. He is a very S. He also has a lot of I because he talks a lot of stuff. So he is an IS personality. He is just like, let's go have fun, let's tell stories, and he will be very consistent. You could bet on him most times. Excellent at long-term follow-ups and relationship-based sales. So if you are an S-type personality and you are adapting to other people, you need to be direct and confident with the D clients. They want to see that direct confidence. So as an S personality, it is sometimes hard to confront people and say things. If it is a D personality, they will have no problem with that. So just know, if you know they're a D, you can just go and say and do. Rip that Band-Aid off, it's a lot easier. If they're an I personality or an S personality, that's when you're going to have to beat around the bush. The CEO will have to give them data. And then just learn to be more assertive in closing deals. That assertiveness is how we'll have to do it. Negotiations, don't get taken advantage of stuff. Don't just trust in everyone. Biggest fear is change, confrontation, and letting people down. Who was high on their S? Was that your like second for most of you? Yes. So if you're an S, here's how to succeed. You need to figure out your structure. What are you going to do? When are you going to show up and get consistent at it? And that will probably be the easy part. But you need to stick with it and get into action. A lot of S's planning and figuring out because we don't want to let people down. So we're going to make sure that we're going to do it right the first time. And then change. You need to get ready for change. If you are doing something and you're part of your structure and it's working and it's not working, but it's just like your routine, you need to change. Step to the side, do something completely different, and then go forward. It is very difficult. Like I said, have a lot of S in me. I actually love change when I understand it. If I walked in tomorrow and they're like, oh, hey, we're changing everything about the brokerage, that would stress me out. But if they said, here's our numbers, here's our reasons, we need change, what are we thinking of doing, here's our top things, and this is what we want to do, then I'm 100% bought in and I have zero problems with change. And if you noticed, how was I talking? What did I want? Details, stats, figures. I have a lot of C personality. When I just did this test the other day, I was high C, then almost the same S, and then I was very high. It was very low D for me. So CSI, just like the show. Oh, wait, did you see it? Dang it, dang it. A guy that's writing with facts and things. That's what AI thinks you look like: detail-oriented, logical, structured, analytical. Strengths are being organized, thorough, data-driven, and excellent at market research. So if you are a C-type personality, doing the market reports, education content, data-driven approaches, You might be good at blogging, YouTube, newsletters, stats. You probably work well with investors or people that like the numbers and the figures. To adapt, you need to be personable, engaging, especially to those I personalities. Don't be boring. Don't overanalyze. You need to get into action quickly. I don't know if any of you were in my office last week, but on my board, I wrote get into action. I was reminding myself because I have a handful of projects that I'm working on that are not good enough yet. And one of my big fears is having a mistake or being seen as incompetent. And if I do one of these things and I put it out there and it's bad, you'll notice my 3 fears: rejected, change, making mistakes. If I put it out there to someone, they hate it, and because of the mistakes that are on it, like it's like the trifecta. So you need to get into action if this is you. Making mistakes or being seen as incompetent. This type of person craves education to overcome that being seen as incompetent. I want to know everything so I don't make mistakes. So I have answers for everything. One of the best answers you can give someone is, that's a great question. Let me go find out. And if you're a C personality, you need to get comfortable with that. You do not have to have the answer. You do not need to be the expert. And you will not be seen as incompetent. Questions about the C? Okay. So let's do a quiz. Name this person. Couple comes into an open house and says, this home is beautiful. I can already imagine hosting parties here. The kitchen would be perfect for entertaining. Who is that?
T.
Yep, that I personality. Okay, so the D personality. What would they say walking into an open house?
You're probably talking about.
Is this
Maybe probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah, might be critical about things. They'd be a hard one. D's and C's are really hard to pick out of a crowd because they're not social. So like a D and a C walk into an open house, they're gonna be very similar because they're not gonna engage and talk and all of that. Yes. Yes. How would that steady, the S personality, come into an open house?
Maybe
What are things that they would say?
maybe look
About
quiet, but like very observant. They'd probably say something similar, like this is trying to give something specific.
I would say just a plastered light smile across their face and they observe.
Yep. Yeah, they're not like, yeah, they're listening. They don't seem like upset. They're like friendly and happy. As you engage, they engage back, but they also aren't like seeking out and talking to you or asking all the questions. Yes, they,
You're like, cause I'm a little bit more outgoing. So
Uh-huh. Yep,
I noticed too, that, which is like, then you wanna know what they're thinking.
I mean, we're gonna know what you're thinking. It's
Yeah.
not like the what in-
yes.
Yeah.
My wife all the time. She's like, what are you thinking? Like, I'm thinking. Like, yeah, I'm in thought, like, I need a process.
Stop asking that question. All
So what kind of things would like a C personality say in an open house?
Their crime rate.
Something crazy like that. They want some stats or figures.
like, what's the best school in the area?
Yeah, what, yep,
Kids are, you know, getting A's.
Already,
Yep.
is anyone on parole?
yep. Yeah. What are the comps in the area saying for the price? Like those kind of things. They're gonna, and are they happy with your answer? They're gonna want the data behind your answer. Like they want to see that. So I had a seller who is a C personality. And I gave him comps. he said, can I research these? And I said, yeah, if you want more information that you can't find online, I can send you what I have as an agent because they're all sold. He went and did like deep Google searches on all of these, found it, and then was like, okay, I'm okay with the price we discussed. Like, he went and found all of this. He ended up moving to Florida. I referred him to an agent and I warned the agent. I was like, sorry, I'm sorry.
I know,
Um,
see who we work with.
Yes.
Like,
So,
work with Cory and, like,
so this is how it's been going with him. So like, he's like, we want land and we're gonna build a barn dominium on it. So like a barn house. They found someone to draw out plans and everything. And then they would go find land and they would find land and they're like, this land is listed at $200,000. On the same exact street, we can see that there was house or a lot that sold for $80,000. We are overpaying for this land. And the agent, unfortunately, was more of an IS. Do you know the problem with ISs is they're dealing with Cs?
I think, intimidated.
ISs, their way out of everything is to talk their way out of it.
they wanna see.
And the C wants to see the information.
Well, there's-
So imagine like John, who is the IS that you guys all know, going to talk to Dean and trying to convince Dean of something. And Dean would be like, show me this. And John would try to talk around it. And Dean would just say, no, show it to me. And then there would be at this unmovable pass, and John would be like, Dean is being unreasonable. And Dean would be like, John won't even show me anything. He's being unreasonable. But so like all the scene wants is show me the data. And so a little bit different.
It's like, from what we're talking about, it's like, we have to have an ability to like kind of match their personality.
Yes.
I know, in a sense, not like fully, of course,
Yeah.
just like during the transaction.
I just keep thinking of my first house that I bought in Seattle. My husband is DC and he walks in with his back against the cable. And I really like,
Mhm. Yeah.
being like you like this happens.
Yep. Yep.
Let's talk something better.
And then you're not. I know it.
It's tough as a kid to play a role in buying it sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
my friends bought a home when I was little. Like, I was like ecstatic and I probably sold it from the, you know.
So here's another scenario. Someone says, it's a buyer says, I want to see all the market stats before making a decision. Can you provide full analysis of recent sales in the area, including price trends and historical data? Who is that?
See,
Years.
The C. They want the facts and figures. So how would these other personalities say things? Let's go backwards. What would a steady person ask of you as they're deciding to buy? An S personality.
Do they have nice families in the area?
This one's a trick question. The S personality probably won't ask you anything. Because they don't typically voice their opinions. Yeah, yeah, because let's see. So if we go back to this, change, confrontation, or letting people down. So yeah, so they don't want to let you down, so they're just gonna stay out of it. They're that loyal, supportive person, and they don't like confrontation. So when they see something like that, they often won't bring it up. So if they are a pure S, they probably won't ask you any questions. And you won't know what's going on with them, and it will frustrate you like crazy. How about an influencer? The I. What would they ask you before buying a house?
probably like, what's the lifestyle like for this neighborhood? Like,
Yep.
does it have amenities and does it have, like
Yep.
places to go and be social, like restaurants?
Yeah, I'm showing houses to a family that have kids that are like 8, 6, 4, 2 kind of a thing. And they're like, we need to go like to church to see how many other kids are in the area. What are the other families like and things like that. They want to see the neighborhood. They found the house that was perfect and they're like, can you find this house but in a different neighborhood? Because they drove around the neighborhood, they did not see one child. They went to the church on Sunday and there was like no kids and they didn't get along with anyone. And
The sun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, yeah, their problem is they're looking for like $1 million home and this was like homes that were built, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago that are valuable. So it's like people built these homes and now their kids are all grown up. And now the neighborhood's turning over, so they're like that. D personality, what would they ask before buying a house?
About the negotiation.
Or they've already made their decision. They're ready to go.
Like, so.
Yeah, you're the last to know. They're done. So let's talk, I didn't build a slide about this, but let's talk about Kira for a minute. So she is an IS, her husband's a DC. How do you deal with that? If you were dealing with her family buying a house,
Probably. Seriously, talk to me and I.
yes,
The relationship, like, when there's a husband and wife, like, whoever talks to you first, I zone in on them.
mm-hmm.
Like, the wife doesn't talk to me first, and then it's like the husband wants to take charge.
Well,
So I usually put everyone in group text. If I was selling a house to Kira and her husband, what's his name?
DJ.
DJ. Oh yeah, because you're DJ Kira, I forgot. So if DJ and Kira, DJ Kira, were buying a house with me, I'd put you in a group text. Who would respond?
Whoever's telling them.
She's.
She would respond. I imagine DJ would probably never respond.
His text. When they come off picture
Yes.
and, well, he'll respond, but it's gonna be pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
He will make the final decision, but.
Yeah. Yes. So you're gonna want to get Kira on board because she's gonna go to work at influencing him. She's gonna be that little influencer. So she will help sell you. You don't have to do the selling. She's gonna do it for you. And if you do happen to talk to DJ, it sounds like you just give him facts and be direct about it.
Because if you don't follow.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, say you're gonna do something.
yes.
Like I said, we almost moved to Twin Falls. If that agent had literally followed up, we would have totally moved. He never sent us an email, text, and he promised us builders and land and everything. Wow. And we were like, so Martin.
See, and that is probably like the worst case scenario because it offends everyone, right? Like the I's and S's, they're people oriented. So when someone's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, like they'll probably forgive you pretty quickly if you're like, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to that, here it is, but you not responding, it's like, do you even care about me?
I will say to the whole, doesn't want to let you down. Actually, don't want to let me filter down.
Yes. Yes.
So I can be convinced to move in like you.
Yeah, so I was a coach for Maps Coach, Maps Coaching. I had a client paying $1,000 a month, and she started to do better in her business. Like I was actually helping her, but her son went to college and she was paying for all of it herself. And so she was actually doing worse off every month, even though she was making more money. And she didn't want to let me down, so she wasn't firing me. She was going into more and more debt every single month. And when I finally figured this out, I said, we have two options. We either need to change everything we're doing and go crush it, or we need to stop coaching together until you're out of debt and then we can pick things back up. And so she was like that S personality that didn't want to let me down, even though it was to her detriment. She was going into debt, and it would have been easy for her to keep implementing things we talked about because she's a steady personality. She was doing it all. So she probably did better off once I was like, just we gotta stop this. We gotta make you more money. Yes. Yes. So let's talk about another combo. DI
Okay, that's.
with an SC. All right, so we got two opposites. So the DI, what would they be like?
So DI, my husband,
Uh-huh.
he's very outgoing at times, but actually he's a little bit of, he's very deep.
Mhm.
He's like type A personality, but just never, but he's also the life of the party, so he loves to be social too. So you want to invite him to everything, but he can make decisions and he can be it. Sometimes he
Yeah.
has to be,
Uh-huh.
he just switches it like that. And it was like, whoa.
Yes.
I think still what I see. Well, the way I deal with him, it's basically like you have to kind of be direct. Like,
Uh-huh.
think about what you're gonna say because he needs to know, and you can't just make him read your mind. And then also the I part, that gets a little frustrating because it's like sometimes you just won't stop talking. Like, I get any now. So it's like controlling the conversation a little bit, like with him. So it's like someone's like, I'm going out the way. Like, okay, well, we gotta like get back to business. Like, what were we here for?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so if you have a DI and an SC, like the DI is one personality and SC is the next, who's doing all of the talking? Yep. Who's doing all of the convincing?
Yeah.
Who's making all the decisions? What's the SC doing? They're along for the ride. Yes. Yep. If they, in their little analytical brain, think that there is a wrong decision, they will probably not bring it up to you unless they're a very high C and then they'll jump on it. If they're kind of like SC normal, then you will not know about it. The DI will then hear about it and it will feel like it's coming out of left field when the DI then mentions it to you. So with these kind of couples, you need to bring that SC along for the ride, right? Ask them questions. So you'll have like, we'll have our DI conversation and then I'll jump in and be like, hey, did you have any questions or do you want me to pull up any stats or anything like that?
Yeah.
And yep, and be like,
Would it be acceptable to like, say we feel more comfortable communicating through email? Because they might want to think about this.
yes,
And they might, then you could take your time and send them a report, where they could take time and look at it.
mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of my friends are like analytical and they like emails a lot. They can just send me, I could send them information.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I like that a lot. So a few things with this and then we'll wrap up. So number one, you should ask people how they want to be communicated with. That's a great point with this. Everyone's going to be different and every personality will have their reason. Maybe like I's love to text because they just do it all the time and they're communicating with like 50,000 people all at once and that just fits right into their schedule. Maybe they're like, I love phone calls because then I can tell you all my stories. So it could be different for every personality, but they're going to have a reason. The other thing is I would start to come up with ways that you can discover people's personalities. I'll give you an example of how I do this. So I do like new agent recruiting. So when you're going through school and you're almost done or you just finish, a lot of times they'll come in to talk to me to join Keller Williams or not. I want to know how I need to show up. So what I do is when I get them in the lobby, I start walking up the stairs with them and I say, how's your day been going so far? And how they respond tells me a little more about themselves. So the D, good. They're done. They're done. They typically don't even ask me how my day has been going. They're just like, boom, I'm done, D. And so then I have to come up with more questions to kind of validate my suspicion, like, oh, are you a D? The I, they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I've had such a good day today. I did this and this and this. I've been just running around busy with my head cut off, blah, blah, blah. The S, they will say, good, how about you? I'm like, okay, I'm not getting much from you, but you're asking it back. You're definitely not a D. You're more of that S. And then the C might be a little more exact. Like, oh, this morning I had to go do this thing. Very specific, like this morning at 8 a.m. I woke up at 5 today. Like, eyes don't say that unless they're bragging. So if you can start to come up with these things, like there was an agent I heard that he used to send like a pre-listing packet to people, and then when he got there, he would ask them about it. And he had some like funny quirk to it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it reminds me of if you've ever seen, oh dang, what's that movie about the Browns and the Draft Day, where the story where he said that they put $100 bill in the back of the playbook so they figured out who went through because they'd always be like, oh, thanks for the money, kind of a thing. So he would do something like that. It was like a little gift, little something funny in his listing packet. And when he got there, he knew based off of what they said to him. So like the D didn't even know it happened because it was sitting on the kitchen table. They didn't even open the thing. The I would laugh at whatever the funny thing was and have a whole story about it and interact. The S would say, I went through it and this was great. Like not a whole lot, but and then the C would like it would be open, it would be highlighted, they would have questions about it. So he instantly knew as he was walking in who he was dealing with so that he could tailor his presentation. The more you work on defining this and going through and learning this, you'll start to get better and better about picking out people's personalities, and you'll get to learn how you should react in situations and how to be, and then how you can be in difficult situations. Do you need to just be direct and boom? Do you need to be caring? Do you need to give them more information? Do you need to give them more time to decide? Kind of a thing. Dave Krantz has a seller right now that got an offer and they were going back and forth with the other agent. And then the agent finally said, I've had enough. You have 1 hour to respond. That seller was not a D. I think she's probably more on the S side, which 1 hour to decide is not enough for an S. They don't like that. It's change is too fast paced. And so she said, no, like if I don't have enough time to decide, my decision is no. Like that's my default. I need more time. And so those buyers missed out on that property that they really wanted because he tried to do a D personality thing to an S. So start to learn this. Have fun with it. You can give this kind of a test to people. To be honest, this test was built by ChatGPT because there are a lot of these online. If you search for them, you can find some online versions to do it. So it's fun to do with your friends. And then learn, talk about this. Ask people. A lot of people in Keller Williams know their own disc. So you can say, oh, what's your disc personality? And you can start to learn that. Use it to sell.
Never.
Thanks, Ritz.